I want to go to Liberal MP Phil Thompson now. He represents the Queensland seat of Herbert, based around the garrison city of Townsville, from where he joins me. He's also a veteran who served in East Timor and Afghanistan. Thanks for joining us, Phil. Really keen to get your thoughts on Remembrance Day. We were speaking to Catherine McGregor earlier, and she said that all Australian service personnel, especially those who have served overseas, tend to reach out to each other on Remembrance Day, no matter where they served, of course, in the world. It is a special day for our veterans in a different way to Anzac Day. Can you explain that to us?
Sure. For me, Remembrance Day is a time to reflect on the many who pay the ultimate sacrifice in war, fighting for our freedoms, our sovereignty, our way of life. I remember my brothers killed in action. It kind of feels like only yesterday we were running and gunning on the battlefield in Afghanistan. I remember the many people who have succumbed to their war within here on home soil, and tonight I'll be raising a glass in their honour. It is a time of reflection, but it's also a time of connection. We don't want people to be suffering in silence or going through these memories by themselves. And just before this, I was with a group of veterans, my mates. I've rung a lot of my veteran mates around the country to check in, because whilst it's a day of remembrance, it's also a day to link in, because it is different to Anzac Day, but it's also a day that, especially in Townsville, the community stands side by side with the Defence Force here in Townsville and pays our respects.
It is a day, of course, that remembers the end of war, and at the time the thought of as the war to end all wars. So it's particularly pertinent and paradoxical. But this year, of course, Australia ended its involvement in our longest war, that is in Afghanistan, and it was ended in the most terrible and humiliating and self-defeating manner, really. Can you tell us, especially as an Afghan veteran, how you must have mixed feelings about what you did in Afghanistan and what's happening there now?
My thoughts in Afghanistan is every Australian soldier who deployed into the Middle East in supporting or into Afghanistan itself did a fantastic job. We kept the Taliban on the run, we kept evil at bay, we kept them in the hills, but we fought terrorism there, so we didn't have to fight it in our country or in other nations. We built schools for girls. We built wells for communities. We've got to remember the Taliban haven't and still don't allow young girls to go to school. They treat young girls and women as property, not as people. So what we did there, the fighting we did there, the people that we killed there, bad people, were for a reason. And it was for us to protect the people of Afghanistan, as well as fight terrorism, not here on our doorstep.
Yeah,
no one wants to see the Taliban in
Sorry
control.
to interrupt. I think that's absolutely correct, and I support everything you did and salute you for your service there. But it's so heartbreaking then to see what's happened as a consequence of withdrawal, and that was, of course, so predictable.
Yeah, and we know that we had to follow in our major partners like the US and the UK when they wanted to do the withdrawal. Our Defence Force isn't large enough for us to stay longer without our partners. No one wants to see the Taliban in control of an area, let alone a nation. That's hard to see. We're seeing famine and people and kids dying on the street. We're seeing blackouts throughout the whole country. They're not running a country at all. They're not a government. They're illegitimate government. And I'll say that from the start to the end. We should not be saying that they're a government. They are running that country into the ground. They are a terrorist organisation. They're the Taliban, ISIS, Haqqani network. They are horrible people, and I feel extremely sorry for the people of Afghanistan.